In the heart of the ancient forest, where the shadows danced to the rhythm of the moonlight, an age-old rivalry simmered between two supernatural beings, a werewolf named Aldric and a vampire known as Sariah. Their feud dated back centuries, rooted in a clash of ideologies and territorial disputes that had sparked conflict time and time again. Aldric, a rugged werewolf with fur as dark as the night, prowled through the dense undergrowth, his senses attuned to the slightest movement. His amber eyes gleamed with a fierce determination as he sought out his eternal foe, Sariah, the cunning vampire who haunted these woods. As the full moon cast its luminous glow upon the forest, Aldric's transformation was imminent. With a primal roar, he embraced the change, his muscles rippling beneath his fur as he assumed his formidable wolf form. His senses heightened. He could smell the faint trace of Sariah's presence, a tantalizing scent that led him deeper into the shadows. Meanwhile, Sariah, draped in a cloak of darkness, glided effortlessly through the night. Her porcelain skin seemed to shimmer beneath the moon's ethereal light, and her eyes' crimson orbs that betrayed her insatiable thirst for blood gleamed with a predatory gleam. She relished the thrill of the hunt, knowing that her lupine adversary would soon be upon her. Their inevitable confrontation loomed like a storm on the horizon, each moment pregnant with tension and anticipation. Aldric's keen senses detected Sariah's presence drawing nearer, her movements as silent as a whisper on the wind. With a growl of warning, he emerged from the shadows, his fangs bared in a snarl of defiance. Sariah's lips curled into a smirk as she faced her ancient adversary, her eyes alight with a mixture of amusement and disdain. "Ah, Aldric," she purred, her voice a velvet caress that sent shivers down his spine. "It seems our dance of death continues unabated, but tonight I shall emerge victorious." Aldric's response was a primal roar that echoed through the forest, a challenge that reverberated in the very marrow of their bones. With a lightning-quick movement, he lunged at Sariah, his claws extended in a little arc. But the vampire was no mere mortal prey. She danced nimbly out of reach, her movements fluid and graceful as she evaded his onslaught. The battle raged on beneath the watchful gaze of the moon, a symphony of violence and savagery that seemed to echo through the ages. Aldric and Sariah circled each other like ancient adversaries, locked in an eternal struggle, each refusing to yield an inch of ground. But as the battle wore on, Aldric's superior strength and primal ferocity began to tip the scales in his favor. With each swipe of his claws and snap of his jaws, he inflicted grievous wounds upon Sariah, her porcelain skin marred by the crimson tide of her own blood. Yet the vampire fought on, with a tenacity born of centuries of survival, her eyes ablaze with a fierce determination to emerge victorious. In a desperate gambit, Sariah unleashed her most potent weapon, the power of her mind. With a whispered incantation, she summoned shadows from the depths of the forest, tendrils of darkness that coiled around Aldric like serpents poised to strike her. But the werewolf was undaunted, his resolve unyielding in the face of this supernatural onslaught. With a mighty roar, Aldric unleashed the primal furies that burned within his soul, his lupine form wreathed in a corona of moonlit flame. With a single stroke of his claw, he rent the darkness asunder, shattering Sariah's shadowy barrier with a force that seemed to shake the very foundations of the earth. With a triumphant howl, Aldric seized his moment of opportunity, his claws slashing through the air with the speed of lightning. Sariah's eyes widened in disbelief as she felt the searing pain of his attack, her immortal flesh rended asunder by the werewolf's unstoppable onslaught. In a final act of defiance, Sariah unleashed a blast of dark energy from the depths of her being, a last-ditch effort to turn the tide of battle in her favor. But Aldric was prepared, his instincts honed by centuries of survival in the unforgiving wilderness. With a defiant roar, he met her onslaught head-on, his primal strength and indomitable willpower prevailing against the darkness that sought to consume him. And so beneath the watchful gaze of the moon, Aldric emerged victorious, his ancient adversary vanquished at last. With a triumphant howl that echoed through the forest, he claimed his rightful place as the apex predator of the night, a testament to the indomitable spirit of the werewolf and the enduring power of the moonlit triumph.